Take a look at this list. Here are some pretty exclusive baseball milestone clubs and the amount of players that comprise each. At one time, reaching some of these plateaus would aid in an athlete's path to the Hall of Fame. Not many in any one group, right? But compare these numbers to the even smaller total who have hit 4 home runs in a single game. Quite a limited population, and here are some hefty stats to go along with the incredible feat. Bobby Lowe created impressive history, not just by being the first ever to record 4 round-trippers in a game, but to hit all of them against the same pitcher, the Reds' Elton Chamberlain. Shows you how the mindset of managing and trust in pitching has changed since 1894. Lowe's team, the Boston Beaneaters, would evolve into the Braves. The franchise is one of 2 to boast 3 different 4-home-run performances. Ed Delahanty, a member of the Phillies, the other franchise atop the list, one-upped his predecessor's performance just 2 years later. 4 dingers? Check. All off the same pitcher? Check, Adonis Terry. How's this for spectacular? 2 of them were of the inside-the-park variety. Baseball fans, whether they were aware of these marvelous feats or not, wouldn't witness such rarity until 36 years later, when Lou Gehrig crushed 3 off of the A's' George Earnshaw. Adding another helped the Yankees to a come-from-behind victory on their way to capturing a World Series championship, the only time a 4-homer player would win a title the same season. Another Philly, Chuck Klein, who won an MVP award in 1932, joined the 4-home run club in 1936, his second of 3 stints with the franchise. The season was the final of 8 consecutive in which he hit at least 20 homers. It took a 10th-inning long ball to put him on this list. Pat Seary hit 86 home runs during his 7-year career, so almost 5% of that total was accumulated on this summer day in '48. During the first game of a doubleheader, his final blast in the 11th inning proved to be the winner. At the beginning of a decent run that saw 7 consecutive All-Star seasons, Gil Hodges made history in 1950 by smacking 4 dingers off of Braves pitching. His 5 hits were among 21 Brooklyn recorded, and he drove in 9 of the team's 19 that evening. 4 years later, the Dodgers were the victim of the rare feat, as Joe Adcock added a double with his 4 blasts against the likes of Newcomb and Padres. That contest winner was Lou Burdett, so the same duo that would spoil Harvey Haddock's near perfecto gave a preview of things to come. In the final season of his first stint with Cleveland, Rocco Domenico Colavito led the league with 42 homers in 1959. During the memorable game in Baltimore, he clouded 2 balls off of Arnold Mario Portocarrero. Those 2 boast a lot of syllables. Say hey! Add another accomplishment to Willie Mays' resume. This 1961 game was a slugfest, with Willie's homers accounting for 4 of the 8 San Francisco hit that day. Lou Burdett was the victim of half that total. Hank Aaron hit 2 of his own in a losing effort. Phillies teams of the late 1970s were known to pile on the runs, and this memorable day in 1976 for Mike Schmidt saw him in a 10-inning Chicago slugfest as the teams combined for 34 runs on 43 hits. His round tripper in the last inning scored the winning runs. The Braves' Bob Horner supplied belated July 4th fireworks, including 3 off Andy McGaffigan in 1986. A rare occurrence that's happened just 2 times, the team with a 4-home run hitter lost the contest, this day due in part to a 5-hit performance by the Expos' Mitch Webster. Here's a record on top of a record, Mark Whiten in 1993. After recording 1 hit in the first game of the day's doubleheader, he turned it on in the nightcap. Not only did the Redbirds smack out 4 home runs, he totaled the most RBI in such a performance with 12. In another baseball anomaly, 2 4-homer performances occurred within the same month, May of 2002. First in Chicago, Mike Cameron hit 4 solo shots, including 2 as part of a 10-run first inning, as the Mariners dominated John Roche and Jim Park. 3 weeks later, Shawn Green posted 6 hits and 7 RBI, including 4 long balls as the Dodgers sprayed 19 hits at Miller Park. 4 other Dodgers hit homers in the game. Green would finish 5th in the National League MVP race that year. Carlos Delgado finished his career with 473 home runs. His 4th shot in this game led off the 8th and tied the contest in which Toronto would eventually win. He led the majors with 145 RBI that season. Some would argue that Josh Hamilton's 2012 season, his final in Texas, was just as productive as his MVP campaign 2 years earlier. Part of the year's magic occurred in Baltimore as he walloped 5 hits and drove in 8, leading the Rangers to a 3rd American League playoff appearance. Another pair of awesome home run feats occurred the same season when 2017 rolled around. First, primary and special general elections were held across the country on June 6th, but the popular vote in Cincinnati went to Scooter Gennett, whose 4-home run, 10 RBI showing helped the Reds win. It was a banner year for the left fielder, who would post career highs in homers and runs batted in. Later that season, J.D. Martinez added his name to this exclusive club, and added another new stat to keep track of. The Diamondbacks defeated the Dodgers 13-0 in this game, the only time a single-player 4-home run performance was part of a shutout.